Welcome back. Thank you very much, GBK, for telling us what's happening in and around Nigeria as well as the international scene on the news. Right now, we'll be switching gears. We spoke about children, picky eaters, and how to get them to actually love eating. Thanks to our guest from August Secrets, Toyin Onigbanjo, who spoke to us about this. And now it's time for us to look at the adults and maybe even children as well. Actually, this is family-centered. So do you want to eat healthier? For a healthier lifestyle, not just to lose weight, but to live longer as well. Well, we have the general manager of Manna Food and Health Bar in the person of Boma, and she'll be telling us a few tricks and tips as to how to ensure that we live longer, live happier, and eat healthier. Ladies and gentlemen, Boma. Hello, Boma. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm very fine.
That's
Thank you.
Great. Good to have you on the show.
Good to see you too.
Wonderful.
And thanks for having me.
Thank you. Now, tell us about eating in general. Now, we know a lot of people have common eating mistakes. People are on the fit farm move. People want to eat healthier, not just for losing weight, because people are more and more people are understanding the importance of eating healthier for themselves, for their family members, for their children. How can you begin to change your eating habits to switch to healthier eating?
Okay, I think it's actually good what's going on in Nigeria right now, that people are getting conscious of their eating habits and people are trying to be fit and all of that. But it's also important for people to know why they're doing it. And I believe one of the best ways for people to change their eating habits to a healthy eating lifestyle is you need to first get a dietitian or you get a nutritionist.
Okay.
It's like getting therapy because you need to know the foundation. You need to know, okay, how do I start this new process? It's not just, oh, going to the internet, Googling and all of that. You need to get someone that will counsel you and tell you how you should go about the process.
I think it's important
so that,
before you go on for me to emphasize that point, because a lot of times people's first port of call is Google. I want to eat like how to live a healthier life. And Google comes up with all sorts of things, verified and not verified.
But don't get me wrong, Google is good. It's good. But it's also good to have someone who is in that field that can really guide you. Because some people, I've had people who come up to me and they say, oh, they started this diet stuff and they're still not making progress, or they see that they're making progress and then there's a relapse at some point. So that's why it's always important to get a dietitian to guide you from the foundation and lead you through.
All right, now, at what age should you start worrying about the kind of food you should eat?
Any age.
So not
Any
just when you
age.
get older and you start saying my metabolism is going slower, I'm adding more weight or putting on more weight easier. At all ages.
At all ages.
All right, so let's break it down. So for children, toddlers, babies, what's the top tip for them when it comes to healthy eating?
I think the top tip is best to go natural. So parents should endeavor to, you could, like I said, talk to a dietitian, and they would tell you the kind of natural foods that child should indulge in. Because you have quite a number of natural foods, that children could indulge in.
What if you can't afford a dietitian?
The thing is, okay, if you can't afford a dietitian, there are still ways of going about it, because there are some dietitians that can tell you, okay, what's your budget? And they work with your budget, So, and then another thing is, if you're someone who really wants to find a solution, you could go to the market, the simple foods that are out there, just indulge in them. It doesn't have to be the foods that are so expensive, because we have natural foods that are cheap, foods like the normal, whole grain, the whole wheat. You have all those foods and even fruits, So you could just go out there and get the cheap fruits and foods and make sure you indulge in it.
All right. Yeah. Now moving upwards, so from babies, toddlers, you go to
adults, even aged.
So teenagers. Let's look at teenagers, for instance. What should they? I mean, teenagers, we know they love fizzy drinks, sweets, chocolates. Your body is craving more sugar at that time for some reason. For the girls, probably hitting puberty. How do you then control that to encourage healthier eating?
I think the best way, like for parents out there, I think the best way to help their teenage children, you could make them watch, stories on people who have had a bad eating lifestyle and the consequences. Because I believe one of the best places to start from in getting your diet right, to the adult stage is the teenage stage. So if the teenager gets it right from that time, it's very, very effective for them, till they're adults.
All right.
So, yeah.
And the same would probably go for adults as well. Now, I know that there's certain things we need to cut down eating as we grow older. They're not in themselves necessarily bad, but we need to cut down with regards to portion control the older we get. What are some of those foods that, as we grow older, and at what age do you think we should start cutting down?
Before I said any age. So I believe any age, you should start cutting down. The teenage age and maybe the
no, for
early...
instance, adults, they tell you to. So children, I encourage you to eat more carbohydrates because they are very active. But as you grow older, they tell you to cut down on certain things for cholesterol level, for salt level. So at what age should you start to critically look at your diet and think, okay, this has to go, that has to go, or I have to reduce this, I have to reduce that?
Okay, maybe when you're in your early 30s.
Okay.
Because, of course, you know, like for women, even for men, you know, people who are trying to maybe have a family and you're talking of your fertility and some other factors, you need to cut down on certain kinds of food, like sugar foods now. You need to indulge more in natural sugars instead of artificial sugars.
What examples of natural
sugars? Like natural sugars, you have sugar cane. Sugar cane contains natural sugars. You have oranges, you have honey. Honey is a very good, and then you have dates. So there are lots of fruits out there.
So cut down on processed sugars and have natural sugar. All right, now you talk about fertility. Are there some foods that boost fertility or make a man or a woman more fertile?
Oh yes, there are. There are lots of them.
Like
I know things like oatmeal. Oatmeal is good in folic acid. It's good in iron. So things like that are very good for fertility. And then if people research on folic acid foods that contain folic acids and some of these minerals, that also boosts fertility too.
All right.
Yes. So people should research.
All right.
That's the key word, research.
But you say we should not go on Google.
You can use Google.
Yes.
Not that I'm saying you should not use Google. Yes, use it wisely.
All right.
Use it wisely and also ask a dietitian, ask a nutritionist. Because some people feel, oh, in Nigeria, we don't have access to these people. But it's not true. If you really search, like if you're in whatever community you're in, maybe your church community, if you try to find out from people how can we get access to these people, you'll be amazed, you know, that they are just in the community you're in. So people should endeavor to research and try and get this information.
All right. Yeah. Okay, brilliant. Now, in case you're watching and you have a question for Boma, we'll open the phone lines to get you talking or you want to contribute to the conversation. Our phone numbers are scrolling on your TV screens. Please use them and call in. If you have any question at all, as much as possible or where possible, she'll answer or refer you to someone else or somewhere else to get your answer. So please do call us. Our phone numbers are scrolling on your TV screens. Now, for patients, like we have diabetic patients or people with chronic illnesses, what are some of so people who have, for instance, let's start with diabetes, what are some of the food items that they should eat more of to help them, to help their condition?
Very good question. Okay, so we found that over the course of my journey into being a nutritionist, we found that some of the foods that people can indulge in are leafy greens. When I say leafy greens, like vegetables, things like ugu leaf, the normal utazi leaf, the normal spinach. So anything green, and even all these green peas, indulge more in that. Then things like broccoli, carrots, these kind of vegetables and fruits, they help they help people who have this sort of health conditions. So people, and another thing is, some people don't realize that you need to discipline yourself. If you're indulging in leafy greens, you cannot be saying, oh, I'm indulging in leafy greens and then I'm indulging in unhealthy food. You have to cut off all those things that are unhealthy and you have to stick to what is healthy.
So please tell us this million-dollar question that some people don't want to ask or hear. Can you give us examples? I know some of them seem obvious, but some examples of unhealthy foods that we should totally cut out where possible.
Now, people who have health conditions, I'm saying health conditions because if I say for everybody, some people might not agree with me, but people who have health conditions, you need to cut off processed foods, things like the flour meat pies, cake, ice cream, burgers. You need to cut off from all those things completely. And then you need to cut off from foods like carbohydrates like rice. That's the normal white rice.
All right.
You need to
How
cut off.
about
yeah.
basmati rice, for
No,
instance?
basmati is, well, that's the thing. You need to also consult with a dietitian because they could tell you the level, as in they could, the stage of your diabetes could determine if you're allowed to take basmati or not.
Okay.
So it's important that someone who has a health challenge, apart from, yes, cutting off from all those processed foods, if you're indulging in some healthy foods, you need to seek proper counsel to know.
Well, we have Samson from Ikorodu. Hello, Samson. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. Well done.
Hello, Samson.
Hello, good day. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Hello, good morning.
Please go ahead with your contributions or questions. Oh, we lost Samson there. Samson, if you can, we still have a few more minutes to go. Kindly call us back.
Yeah.
All right. So you were saying about, you know, with regards to
cutting off
certain
foods.
How about people who have high blood pressure?
Oh yes, it also applies to people with high blood pressure. In fact, once you have a health condition, it's something you need to take a drastic decision. You need to do a drastic change. It's not something that, oh, you wait for maybe the doctor to provide a solution for you or you wait for a medical treatment. You need to do something drastic. And what you need to do that is drastic is the first thing, you need to cut off anything that is unhealthy. So, like I mentioned earlier, unhealthy foods like floury foods, processed foods, things like meat pies that are made with processed flour, things like cakes that are made with processed flour, things like ice cream. I know ice cream is very difficult for some people, but
all the things you mentioned is difficult for some people.
Have to cut
all right,
it
Martha
off.
from Just is on the line. Hello, Martha.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, please, I just want to ask, I always have floated tummy. I don't know, what will I take, all this kind of food to eat in order for me not to experience more of the floated tummy always?
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Martha.
Yeah. Okay. So when it comes to bloated tummy, I found that so many things cause it. Sometimes it could be overnight eating. Sometimes it could be drinking, because some people who drink, it causes that, you know, bloated tummy. So the thing is, it requires discipline. You have to be disciplined. You should know the time you should eat. And try not to eat in the evenings. Try and eat in the early, maybe if you're eating in the evening, try and eat like maybe 5.
Yeah.
And then make sure that after, you give yourself a time frame. After 6 or let's say after 7, don't eat again.
All right.
Because some people, their bodies don't know how to digest food properly. You know, when it's night.
All right, thank you. Now, Osage from Benin is calling. Hello, Osage.
Yeah.
Hello, Osage. Yeah.
Hi
Hello.
there.
Hi, Osage.
Go ahead, please.
Hello.
Osage, could you kindly turn down the volume of your TV set? We can hear ourselves in the background. Kindly turn down the volume of your TV set.
Oh, yeah, good afternoon. How are you doing?
Thank you. Good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon.
Yeah, I really want to ask some questions. What are some of those food that one should cut down on when you are getting age?
Okay. All right. Thank you, Osage. We've actually touched on some of those food items. So we'll just, but before we go there, Evelyn from Nasarawa. Hello, Evelyn.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, evening.
Please, I'm watching your program now. You talked about processed sugar food.
Yes.
How can you cut it down when all you have every time is those sugar things around you?
That's a very good question. Thank you, Evelyn.
Very good question.
All right.
Yes. So, okay. So, how you can cut down? Make sure those things are not around you.
And I know you also have alternatives to certain things.
Exactly.
Some people don't think it's doom and gloom. Because if I were sitting at home and hearing this, I'll be thinking, I just want to switch off this thing. You're telling me not to eat all my favorite things.
Yeah.
But you can eat them, and you talk about alternatives.
You have the healthy alternatives.
Yes.
So surround yourself with the healthy alternatives.
Like, what are some of the healthy alternatives?
Okay, like for instance, you have sugars, which is unhealthy.
Yeah.
So instead of taking sugars, take honey, take dates. Okay. When you're doing your, let's say you're doing your cereals, take more of honey. You can take more of dates. You can blend the dates and put it in your cereals.
All right.
So anything.
So you can blend your dates.
Yes, you can blend your dates. So anything you're taking, go for the healthy alternative. Like for milk now, instead of taking the dairy milk,
milk,
you could go for the natural milk. Coconut Milk is fantastic.
So when you say
It's a
natural,
good-
you mean plant milk?
Yes,
Plant-based milk.
Yes, plant-based milk. So always look for the natural and healthy alternative instead of going for the
How about for flour,
unhealthy
for
one.
instance? I know
For
some
flour?
people, you mentioned
Yeah.
cakes. How are we going to celebrate our birthdays?
Oh, you can,
Okay,
you can,
go
because
on.
we have, the good thing is we are in a digital era. So thank God we have things like whole grains. Through whole grains, you can get whole wheat, you can get oatmeal flour, and those things are fantastic. It is, in fact, when you make whole wheat cakes and also whole wheat bread, you find that the taste is almost similar to what you're getting from the flour
Based
cake,
product.
and
Alright.
it is healthy.
All right, so
Yeah.
now the main message we'd like to pass on here is that we're not saying that you can't still enjoy those foods that you enjoy. What we're promoting is the fact that you can enjoy them, but in a healthier way,
Yes,
particularly as you grow older. So if you're still eating certain kinds of food, processed sugars, flour, perhaps it's time you start to cut down and introduce more vegetables and fruits to your diet. It makes you stronger, it makes you healthier, you visit the hospitals less, and of course you look good as well. All right, thank you so much,
thank
Boma.
you very
Boma
much,
is
Ayo.
the general manager at Mana
Thank you.
Food and Health Bar, and
Yeah.
they also provide healthy eating alternative solutions if you're interested. Now, for today in history, happy birthday. Today is your birthday, the 21st day in the month of February. We're gradually coming to the end of February, just like that. If it's your birthday, happy birthday to you. You're celebrating with Stanley Gumot, who was born today. He's a Nigerian basketball player, a native of Jos, Plateau State. Gumot plays internationally with the Nigerian national basketball team. He played with Nigeria at the 2007 and 2009 FIBA Africa Championships. From all of us here on Hello Nigeria, we say happy birthday, Gumot. All right, we're wishing you a wonderful day with your anniversary. If you're celebrating anything, we say you hope a splendid day. A big thanks to all our guests today, particularly to Chukwudi Ezugu, who has been most amazing joining us here every day this week. Also, thank you to the founder, August Secrets, Toyin Onigbanjo, who spoke to us earlier about getting your picky eaters to love eating. Also, just immediately, we have Boma Harry, who has been wonderful, telling us how to eat healthier and live better. All right, that's all we have for you on Hello Nigeria today. Thank you very much.
To enjoy more of these our Ogbonge videos when you just watch, press this button to subscribe on top of our YouTube page. You go love am.